Hey everyone, welcome to this video on OpenVPN by Solid Shell Security. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and install OpenVPN onto VPN Server 36, and we're going to go through the walkthrough and explain everything. We will be using an OpenVZ box since OpenVZ is pretty commonly used and most people use OpenVZ. Ideally, you would want to use a Zen box or a dedicated server actually, because you can have more control. So we'd highly recommend doing that if you're going to do like VPNs and everything. OpenVPN is actually one of the more stable and secure out of a lot of the VPNs out there. The only thing is with OpenVPN is you have to have a client installed and you have to copy over a certificate key to be able to access the server. So there's a little bit more headway than say than entering like a username or a password with a VPN. But it's extra security with that. So I'm going to kind of bring up VPN 6, and as you can tell, we are running 64-bit, and I'm a little confused here because I said to install CentOS 6, but it's showing like CentOS 5. So we're going to see how all this plays out in the install because I'm a little confused because on the actual VPS control panel thingy it actually showed CentOS 6 installed, and that's why I selected. So we're going to see what happens. The other thing is I want to talk about is we do need to have TUNTAP installed and activated. If you don't have it, you can install it automatically through the VPS control panel, just like you would reinstall like an operating system. You can easily do that, so you don't have to go through your provider to do it if you don't have it. As you can tell, we actually do have it installed. All we did was cat devnet ton, and it gave us file descriptor in a bad state. If it said not found, it's not installed. You're going to have to go through and make sure it's enabled. Otherwise, it shows it's installed right there. So it's pretty easy to do. One thing, we're going to go ahead and install a couple of needed packages. So we're just going to install that, and it should hopefully not take too long. These are pretty fast machines. The other thing you want to keep in mind when using OpenVPN is it can be a little annoying to mess around with and install like a lot of the VPN protocols, especially if you're like going through firewalls, things like that. There's little mishaps there you have to check out and debug, but OpenVPN actually does install a lot easier than a lot of the other systems, so it shouldn't be that difficult. Okay, I want to go ahead and assume it's CentOS 6. It says it's CentOS 6, even though it's showing EL5. Maybe it's just an OpenVZ thing, but if it was actually like a dedicated server, like a Zen, it'd be showing EL6, like CentOS 6. So we'll just go with assuming that is actually a CentOS 6 machine, a 64-bit. Okay, so now it's installing everything that we're going to need. This is like a fresh, brand new install out of the box, so we don't have like a lot of the packages installed. So we're just installing a lot of the common ones, and we will have a step-by-step guide on the blog and in the comments. Just click that link and it'll take you right to it. Okay, and we're also going to install the LZO from OpenVPN. And we're also going to install a repository for CentOS 6, making sure I got that right. Okay. Now once we got that installed, we're going to go ahead and do some RPM building and build these RPMs. And then we're going to start getting to the installing in a few. You can also have multiple VPN protocols like PPTP and L2TP and others all installed in the same server. You just have to be cautious and watch what happens when you do the IP tables. If you're doing IP tables manually, you want to make sure you get them in correctly and make sure none mess up the others. So you gotta keep that in mind. If you're gonna use something like CSF, then you're going to want to make sure you use the post CSF shell script. You can add IP table rule sets in there automatically and it just executes like a bash script. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and install the OpenVPN. It should hopefully find the right repository. Okay, there we go. Found it all and installed it. Alright, now the other thing we want to do is we want to start copying over the RSA stuff. So I'm going to copy that in there, and we want to go ahead and set some stuff. Now, since we're on CentOS 6, we're going to need to make a little small change. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this file. I don't know if we have Vim installed. Okay, we have Vim installed. Okay, so we're going to go ahead in there, and we're going to go ahead and scroll down to see if we can find it. Oh, there it is. So we can go here, find this, and we want to change the inside of this. I'm going to go ahead and take out the entire key config, and we're going to replace that key config with another key config. And okay, so the VPN seems to have hung up on us. That was a little unexpected. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and log back in. Okay, we're back. I don't know why that happened, but we went ahead and we replaced the key config with our own key config, which is the new location. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're going to save that by exiting. And now what we're going to go ahead and create a certificate. So I'm going to go ahead and cd into the OpenVPN, and that's easy RSA 2.0. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and do a chmod 755, and then we're going to do source the variables, and then we're going to do verse, and now we're going to do the clean all. Okay, now everything's clean, so we're going to go ahead and build this. Do build-ca, certificate authority. Yes, USA, we'll use that, I'm just going to do the defaults. You can go through here and you can change all this to what you want to change. But we're just going to go ahead and just leave a lot of that stuff like that because it's just a temporary thing. So now we got all that done, what we want to do is we want to build the server. So I'm going to build the key server. To build that key server, call it server. So we're going to go ahead and build this whole thing. Go through all this again. Okay, I'm going to leave that blank, leave that. We want to make sure we sign the certificate, and yes, we do. Done. Now we want to do the build.dh. It's going to take a little bit, so it's going to go ahead and do that. Okay, that was quick. Okay, now we want to set up the server configuration. I'm also going to go ahead and do a touch on etc OpenVPN server.config, and then we're going to basically go in and edit this thing. I've already got the stuff coded here, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We're not using a free radius server, so we're not going to bother with going through the whole plugin setup and stuff. We're going to go ahead and just use PAM. So it's going to be authenticated on the server directly. And server IP localwise, that's fine. DNS looks good. So we're just going to go ahead and keep that and save that file. And now we're going to see if it starts. We're going to do service OpenVPN start. And okay, so we got everything ready. So it's going good now, so that's good. Now, what we want to do is we want to make sure this is doing IP forwarding. We want to make sure we have that enabled. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Is typically off by default on every machine. So we're going to want to come down here, go over, set this to a 1, exit out, and then load the changes by doing sysctl-p. You're going to get stuff like this. This is common on OpenVZ. It's also common if you don't have the modules installed into the kernel. So if you get errors like this, don't worry about it. It's nothing serious. It's not a big issue. So we're not going to really bother about it. Now, what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and load up the IP tables. I've already got these things preset, so I'm just going to pretty much just copy and paste them. one quick thing that is we want to make sure we do this just because we want to make sure we know our IP address, because we need to put this IP address in here. So we want to find the main IP address. This is the OpenVPN interface right here. It's got the 10.8, so the gateway is going to be the O2. So the next client should actually be 10.80.10 when we connect. But we want to go ahead and grab the outgoing IP address, which is going to be the first one on the VENet. This is going to be ETH0 if you're using a dedicated server or a Zenbox. But we'll go ahead and insert that IP table there. That was for the OpenVZ table. You're going to run that. If we're not running OpenVZ, then we can just go ahead and take out the outgoing VEZ, and we just end up putting in the actual subnet, which would basically be the 10.8.0.0/24 instead, and then we just do it like that if we were like doing like a Zen or a dedicated. But for OpenVZ, we use that command right there. Now we're going to go ahead and finish up some more commands here. So we're just going to copy in more of these and just going to get them all loaded in. So if you're running a CSF, you want to basically make sure you run these commands. That's what these are all about. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this because I know a lot of people probably don't want to run CSF. But you don't need to worry about these if you don't run CSF. But if you do, you want to make sure you run these because CSF has a way of controlling things and making things a little annoying. So we're just going to go ahead and do that, copy that, do that. So if you're running CSF, just run those. And we're just going to go ahead now and just save these. So we're just going to go ahead and save them. But if you're running CSF, you want to make sure you run that. Otherwise, don't worry about it. You have no need to run anything like that unless you're running CSF. Ideally, you don't have to run CSF on this. If you want to, because you like the features that CSF LFD come together, you can do that. But the options there. So now we have that. We're going to continue now. And what we want to do is we want to start setting up a user. So we're going to go ahead and create a user, add, we'll call it OpenVPN USR. I want to give it the shell bin false. And I want to go ahead and pass that user, OpenVPN USR. And we're just going to give it basically some crazy little password. Yeah, it's a bad one, but hey, you know, it's simple. You know, hey, passwords are secure unless someone knows it. Okay, now we want to create the OpenVPN file. This is what you're going to end up using on, say, this is going to be the client. Let me get this right real quick. So what we're going to do is, this is what you end up setting up on the client side right here, this. Now we want to first of all set up this IP would be the IP of the system we're connected to, which should be the main one right there. It could be any of the other ones, but we're just going to do that. We're not going to talk about trying to tune all this stuff, but this here is going to be the certificate that I want to have locally for the client machine to use to dial in. And this is the logging. The MTU is fine at 1500. If you have issues, like, you can lower that, but typically 1500 is fine. The only time to really lower would probably be like on a PPTP connection, but that's a whole different thing. But for OpenVPN, that's fine. So we're just going to go ahead and leave this because that's just fine. That's pretty much the configuration file. I also think I named that wrong. It should be OVPN. So, but we don't really care about that. I just put that there just so you know that. We also want to make sure that OpenVPN starts when it comes online. When we reboot the box, we can go ahead and set that to on. Now, if all this works, we should be good. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and log into this box. Actually, let me do something real quick. Let me go ahead and move this to make it actually correct. That'd be open. Give me a second here. Try to make sure. My mind is like crazy. OVPN. OpenVPN. Okay, so move that there. Okay. So what we're going to do is now we're going to go and log in to actually download this stuff. So we're going to go into this IP here, grab this, and root. Supposedly I think you can do this right here and not have to actually configure. Okay, good. So I'm going to go here and let's see, where is it? Should all be in root. Oh wait, we're not in root. Okay, let's see where we at. We are under etc VPN. Okay, so we're gonna go and navigate there. etc OpenVPN EasyRSA 2, and what we want is we want this here. Take that to the desktop. Okay, that was kind of weird. Okay, so we're just gonna go here to My Documents, drop into My Documents. Now we need to find the key here, and there's the key right there. That's on My Documents as well. Okay, now supposedly all this should actually be good. So we're going to go and bring this up, and we want to create a new connection profile. So we're going to import one, and we were messing with that one. That's actually an actual production box there, one of many. If you guys want a VPN, buy it off of us. We do sell them, and we do a good job with them. So, okay, so anyway, we're going to go up here and go to Solid, My Documents, load this up. We're just going to call it server. We're going to go and connect the server. Let's see, what do we call the username? OpenVPN user? Was that the one? I'm trying to remember exactly what we called it. Okay. Assign IP address. Looks like we are good actually now. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry. Okay. Getting over a little cold. I've been coughing for like the past 2 weeks. You wouldn't believe how difficult it is to actually do videos and talk without coughing. But anyway. Okay, so we actually logged into OpenVPN. We have our IP, and this is our client IP on the box. So we are connected. So let's just double check this real quick. Go to google.com, see my IP, and there you go. We are now actually using our OpenVPN IP. So if we go over here, we should actually be able to see ourselves logged in. Actually, no. I don't know. Nope, don't see it actually. Okay. Well, anyway, we worked. We got connected in, so we're all good. So we've got the IP 10806, so we're on the box, and that's our local IP. Now, when dealing with OpenVPNs, you're probably going to want to do a little more security on the box, like lock down services, lock down ports, prevent access from user to user, because you're basically all connected onto a box using the local IP. So you're all technically on the exact same network, you're just all using that box's outgoing connection, which is what the IP table rule does, it allows you to do that. So there's a lot, that's a whole other video series on that, but all in all, we're connected, we're good, so we're hidden. So now you can just buy a VPS, give out these users to all your friends and just all have fun connecting, but it's pretty easy. That's really all there is to it to set up an OpenVPN connection. So it's really simple, it's very easy. So that's about it. If you have questions, comments, let us know. All this will be posted on the blog, on the forums. So click the links below this video and you're going to have no problem trying to find this stuff, and we're going to talk about it. So that concludes this episode on setting up OpenVPN. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. We like followers, we like you guys. If you don't follow us, we might just not give cats catnip, and we might actually not make more cool videos. So you guys do that, you encourage us, we make better stuff. So yeah. Also, if you want web hosting, dedicated servers, for stuff like this, we have them. We got them cheap. Just send us in a ticket, email us, we'll hook you up. Very, very good. Way better than anyone else. Trust us. There's a reason our clients love us. Okay, anyway, have fun. Stay warm, cold, whatever it is you guys have. That's temperatures. So that's it. Goodbye, guys.